buying groceries and baked goods they didn't have time to make from scratch, lining up the cooks and the servers, praying that September's fall weather would hold, allowing them to serve people outdoors. Plain weddings were simple, without adornment, but the receptions were mammoth in the sheer amount of food needed to serve all the guests who'd come to Jamesport, Missouri from Ohio, Indiana, and as far away as Texas. It might make a much younger woman tired, but Mary Katherine only felt invigorated. That was her story, and she was sticking to it. "I'm fine. Take this cake out to the tables outside." "Fraidy cat." Beulah deposited the dirty dishes on the counter but made no move to take the cake. "You can't hide from him forever." "Who are you hiding from?" Laura Kaufman trudged through the door with empty serving dishes in both hands. She might be 72 and a little hard of hearing in one ear, but she had avoided the pasture as well. She served as not only a good friend, but an excellent example of how to live and grow after losing a husband. "Dottie? Why would you be hiding from Dottie? She's looking for you." Dottie Manchester, the Jamesport Branch Library's only librarian and Mary Katherine's closest English friend, meant well, but she had a one-track mind and a penchant for taking the long road to make a short point. As much as Mary Katherine enjoyed a good chat, she didn't have time right now. "I've got a lot on my plate at the moment." Beulah snorted and Laura chuckled. "So to speak, you could eat the cake instead of serving it." That bit of wisdom came from Jenny Graber, who stood at the sink washing dishes in an enormous plastic tub. She, too, had been a widow until she remarried a few months earlier. That she was exceedingly happy was apparent in the smile on her heart-shaped face and the sparkle in her pale blue eyes. "You should pay attention. There might be someone else looking for you. Weddings make minds turn to romance." The women giggled in a chorus that made them sound like young girls at their first singing, not mature women from every stage of life, from just married to a widowed great-grandmother. Mary Katherine couldn't help herself. She rolled her eyes. "The last thing an old plain woman thinks about is romance." Not so. If memories of Moses's sweet kisses rushing through her like a warm summer breeze could be called romantic, she was guilty. But she would never admit such foolishness, not even to her dearest friends. "Speak for yourself." Laura plucked a roll from an overflowing basket with knuckles swollen with arthritis. "Besides, I think I spied a certain old plain man staring at you during the service." "You're talking about Ezekiel, aren't you?" Jenny was eager for her friends to find marital bliss again. "He did look distracted during Solomon's message." "You're dreaming. Ezekiel thinks of nothing but his keener and his restaurant." Hoping her own distraction during the minister's message hadn't shown as well, Mary Katherine wiped tiny drops of sweat from her warm forehead with the back of her sleeve. Ezekiel had been a widower for about 10 years. He was a kind man with a generous laugh. He always refilled her tea glass when she ate at the Purple Martin Cafe and always asked about her day. But then he did that with everyone he served. "Anyway, I have too much to do to worry about such silliness." A smirk on her face, Beulah swiped a dollop of frosting from Mary Katherine's cake and stuck it in her mouth. She smacked her lips. "If you think marriage consists only of silliness, you've been a widow far too long." This from her own daughter. Another round of giggles rippled through the kitchen. "I reckon I'm better off out there than I am in here." Mary Katherine headed for the door, dodging Beulah's outstretched fingers. "I'll deliver the cake myself. I'll be back. In 1 minute. In one piece." God willing. She strode through the doorway and into the fray. The front room was filled wall to wall with tables covered with white tablecloths and chairs occupied by friends and family, some she hadn't seen in years. No time to visit now. She edged through, cake platter held high. "Mary Kay! Mary Kay!" Dottie's high voice carried over the dozens of conversations that created a low-pitched, continuous roar. She squeezed through the narrow aisle between tables, her husband Walt right behind her. His portly figure struggled.